So today I'm working on getting ready to butcher chickens in February because the world has conspired against me to get my chickens butchered on time with the house and everything else. But anyway, so I'm working on finally getting that butchered up. I haven't even had quite time yet to finish building my new equipment to make it a lot easier yet. And so I'm going to show you what I'm doing right now. I'm building my automatic scalding pot. Well, automatic as in it keeps the temperature for the scalding water automatic. Before I was using just a turkey roasting pot. Actually, it was a canning pot, and a hot water bath canner, and then a turkey roasting base with propane, and you had to sit and futz with it and constantly keep it the right temperature. It didn't work so well. I spent more time futzing with that because you'd have to get it hot, dip it, and then it pain in the butt. That actually doubled my time for processing. So what I'm doing is I'm going to build one that's electric, that's automatic, keeps the temperature perfect every time, all the time, and let me show you how I'm doing on that. Alright, so pardon the mess if you don't mind. I'm still... Yeah, I got crap in here in my tent. So this is basically what we've got going. I took a barrel, I'm going with a metal barrel, and I know the camera's not great, cell phone, sorry. I took a metal barrel, I cut it down to an appropriate size, so this is about starting the second little ring, and very, very simple. So what we have here is, it's not plugged in so I can touch it, see? This is a hot water heater thermostat, and this one's a bit special. Yeah, I could not get this at Menards, which is like a Home Depot. This is commercial. This goes up to 180 degrees. And generally you can't get it that high. You can't get them past 140. Well, I like to scald my chickens at 164. And so I needed to get one that go in a little higher. I ordered this off of Amazon. I'll put the price in the description or put it on the screen here in editing. Wasn't all that much, but I had a special order to that. This I just got at Menards. This is a kind of a universal adapter plate. It's a few bucks. And this is a 120 volt 1440 watt heating element. I'm going with a 110, plug it into anything, and so that is the basic heater, and it's really very, very simple wiring. Power coming in, and it goes to, these are labeled number 1 and number 2. Power comes in, goes to number 1, power is on black. You have the power coming back out the switch, going to one of these, it doesn't matter which one. Other side is going to be your neutral, and of course we grounded it. It's always good to ground everything, safety. And that's really how simple it is. Let me show you a shot of the inside. And look how simple that is. It really is that simple. So you notice I'm using the top of the barrel. I have the plugs here still in, and the thought behind that is I'm going to make this permanent on its own stand, and I'm actually going to put that down to a pipe to a valve, because this is actually going to be quite heavy to try to dump out. And so I'm going to have it on a valve. You just dump it out, you hose it out, and you're done. You don't have to try to tip the whole thing over. So you can see this heating element sticking in. And now under these bolts, to keep it waterproof, there's O-rings, and these are the screws that hold the thermostat on. Again, small O-rings under that, keep everything waterproof. This has its own seal built in, and it's extremely simple. So what's next is we're going to wrap this. Well, I'm going to cover this. I'm going to put liquid electrical tape on all these connections, keep them safe. Ground can stay open, ground don't matter. But I'm going to make sure I cover those with liquid electrical tape for safety. I'm going to wrap this thing in insulation. I don't know if I'm going to leave it that way. I normally don't process chickens in middle of February, but here we are this year. So I'm going to wrap this insulation just to give it a chance of heating, because you don't want to do this inside an enclosed area. The worst part about butchering a chicken is a god-awful smell when you're scalding them. It will make you hurl if you're weak-stomached. It is the nastiest part of the whole process. It's not the gutting them, it's the scalding. The smell is horrendous. So we're going to wrap this with insulation because it's got to be done outside, got to be kept outside. And now the biggest downfall about using electric, well, there's two of them. Number one is the BTUs are a lot lower than with a propane burner. A lot of people like to use an old propane hot water heater, cut that off, and that's fine. But the problem is you have the exhaust stack coming right up the middle. And when I raise my chickens, I raise them big. These are not small hens. These are about the size of a small turkey you'd get in a grocery store for Thanksgiving. They're huge. They dress out 8 pounds sometimes. Many times we will have company over for a holiday with one of our chickens, and we'll have 5, 6 guests over plus the 3 of us that are eating on it, and there's leftovers because they get huge. They're absolutely massive. And you just can't really squeeze them around. It annoys me. I like to spread their legs, spread their wings, would get the water everywhere so they scald properly. It gets in the way. And so we use the electric because it leaves that all open. The whole thing is open. You can utilize the area. So the major downfall with using electric is the current that this thing pulls. It's a lot. So it's pulling 1440 watts which is pretty much an entire 15 amp breaker circuit. So you have a 15 amp standard breaker. Most of your outlets are 15 amps, and it's pretty much doing nothing but that. I don't even think it's going to run the plucker at the same time. So I don't know if I'm going to end up using a generator to run both of them or just this at the same time. So that's one big disadvantage of the electric. The other, it's going to take a while to heat it up. I'm expecting it to easily take 3 to 4 hours, even with this insulated, to get that up to temperature. And so even in the dead of winter, it might be something I start the night before, just because it's going to take a while to heat up. So that's the other downfall to it. And, you know, of course, you got to do this somewhere where you either have a generator and burn the fuel for that, or you got to be near a power source, which most of the time you are anyway. But so those are the two downfalls to electric, but it's simple, it's easy. It's a very, very simple process to build, and you get all the room. That's the big advantages, and that's why I'm doing electric. You get all the room. And so that's why I'm going with that. And so I'll show you a picture of it later when it's up and going here. I'll do a clip later when it's up and going. But for now, that's the basic construction. Super, super simple. And we'll get to that clip of it fully assembled here in heat and water here in just a second. Alright, so we got our scalding pot mostly complete here. I just wanted to show you real quick. Take a quick temperature check of it. I'm still got to calibrate it to get to the right proper temperature. I've got it fully insulated. Here, let's take a look. So I've got it fully insulated. There's pretty much a full roll of insulation in this. Under the bottom, I've got insulation. I've got insulation all the way around again, and then I made a pad here that's going to go over the top. I'm going to leave this go all night just because it's going to get down to single digits, and we don't have a lot of daylight anyway, and I'm not getting up at 6 a.m. to get this started early. So it's going to need, I bet you, a good 4 hours, 5 hours to get warm, especially in these temperatures. But anyway, let's take a quick peek. So I already filled it up, as I was saying, and I can already see there's a lot of flow coming off where the heating element is. You probably can't see that on camera, but you can see the current flow in there just from the temperature off that heater. Let's take a quick peek here. 40 degrees at the surface, but that doesn't really surprise me. It's actually 45 degrees when it comes out of the well. There's 42 over there. Yeah. We're not going to get a good reading. It's just cooling off so fast at the surface. But what we're going to do is we're going to cover it up, let it go all night long, because I will be butchering in the morning. Cover that up. I'll put something heavy on top of there, and that way we got nice warm water. Hopefully it works, and I'm close enough with the temperature on the thermostat to start going right away. Well, it's morning after I built got the chicken scalding pot, automatic chicken scalding pot up and going, and I gotta say I'm quite impressed. Yes, it's insulated, but it's not. There's a lot of, you can see all the ice, and it was steaming out. It's certainly not a sealed system. That would be more ideal to keep the heat in. But it got down to 5 below last night, plus wind chill brought it down to about 10 below. Right now it's 1 or 2 degrees above and 5 below wind chills, and the wind is picking up, so that's actually going to drop a bit. But I get out here and measured to see if it had any chance to get close, and we got to 152 degrees. That's impressive. So no, it never got up. I set the dial to about 160, but still, that's not too bad. It is doing what it thinks it's supposed to be doing. But I'm rather impressed. So what this tells me is this may not hold out today, because that's, with the cover on, that's insulated with the cover on, you're going to be using it, you're going to be cooling it off quite rapidly. I don't know if it's going to keep up, but during normal times, when you're not doing something stupid like trying to butcher chickens outside when it's below zero, during the summer when it's 70, 75, 80 degrees, this ought to work just fine. So looking forward to that. Don't know if it's going to keep up today. We'll give it a shot. But I think, when it's actually used during the summertime or, properly, I think it's going to actually hold up just fine. So anyway, we're going to keep going here and get with butchering. Either I use this or go back to the turkey burner, because I really want to get butchering done today, or at least as much as I can. But that's all going to be in a separate video, because I'll be getting some video of the butchering process and how that works. But that won't be on this video. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button down there to sign up for the alerts for any of our future videos.